My career could have been so different. I think about that all the time. Actually, I think a lot of us spend time daydreaming and wondering, like lusting about what our careers could have been like with just that perfect interview answer or a different college major, like better parental advice. Should I have worn roller skates to my job interview at a top tier law firm? We will never know the answer. For me, I do wonder about the career that I might have had if The Daily Show hadn't decided they finally needed a female correspondent, because they were down to 0 of those. Like, what if they had found a woman that they liked in the United States? It's a very big place. Personally, I think there were some very funny women here who could have done the job, but okay. What if they had never decided to look in Toronto? Because even before I was on it, I loved The Daily Show. It was the one show that my husband and I watched religiously each night in our attic. Even though we lived in Canada, I feel like it was a chance for us to just like laugh and kind of shriek at the stupid choices that another country continuously made, which made us feel better and frankly, quite smug. It was literally appointment television for us. Now, at the time, I was working a day job. I was doing comedy on the side, but I was getting ready to give up. Not on comedy. I knew that I would always do comedy, but I definitely was like, I don't want to be in this business anymore. Auditions are fine. They're usually pretty stupid, and you end up pouring out your heart for the chance at some Imodium commercial, while like a mid-level producer sorts through other people's headshots while they eat their turkey club in front of you. It's great. The glory is real, but I just decided that I was done. A choice that I wanted to make for myself was to one day have a home and a mortgage, and to not spend my days sitting around waiting for the phone to ring that would signal someone else's approval for the very sincere monologue I had done for the Imodium commercial. So I decided that I was done. I had other meaningful things in my life. It was okay if a career in comedy was not one of them. Anyway, then my agent called and told me that The Daily Show was holding auditions and I should go. And I was like, but I'm quitting. And so I thought, okay, one more audition. This is it. Last one. Just because I love the show. Because I know that I could do it. So I put myself out there. And this is so often what choice is. Putting yourself out there and just like seeing how it goes. Rolling the dice. After the audition in Toronto, well, I got invited to another one in New York on The Daily Show stage. I couldn't believe I was going to like walk out onto the stage. I was so nervous. I went actually the night before to see a taping of the show just so I could get a feel for the space. What a dork. I was so obsessed with research. And then, I don't know, I blacked out. And I must have gotten the job because I worked there for, 12 years. The choice to go to that audition changed my life. And I think at that moment, The Daily Show made a good choice too. This is Choice Words. I'm Samantha Bee, and this week I talked to the incredible actor Uzo Aduba. I am a huge fan of hers from Orange is the New Black and Mrs. America, and I'm so excited for her new project, Painkiller. Uzo made a choice to give up acting and then got a part she couldn't say no to, and I'm so glad she changed her mind and decided to go to that audition. So take a listen and make good choices. I am so excited to be talking to you right now. I'm a huge fan of you.
And I you.
Okay, so just to get started, I'm going to lay it out there. This show is all about choices, like the big choices you've made, the little choices that you've made, the reverberations in your life. And so I want to talk about like the bigger choices that you've made later, but that word means something different to everyone. Yeah. So I'm just going to run through a little rapid fire and just like see where everything lands with you. And then we'll get into the bigger stuff. What is your relationship like to the idea of choice? Like, do you make choices easily, slowly?
Depends on how big the choice.
Mm-hmm.
Whether between two meals that I am in the mood for, rapid.
Right.
Um,
Rapid.
like more heavy, weightier things. I
Mm-hmm.
am somebody who likes to think it through because my like gut self, younger self would just to be like this, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
sometimes I found as I've gotten older that not always serves me. Like it's not an ignoring of my instincts. It's
Mm-hmm.
weighing more. It's more of like a weighing what will best serve my life spirit, all of it. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes my snap decisions aren't always the best thing for me.
Do you write lists? Like, do you do pro and con lists in your head? Are you
I
tactile
might
about
do a
it?
pro con list in my head. Yeah, I'm not beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say more of what I am known to do is I will seek counsel.
Counsel.
Counsel. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like a big
Mm-hmm.
like my husband be like, let me give this is the landscape of the thing. Tell me what you think.
Right.
My sister, um, my mom used to be big for that. So like I'm like a big I will have my own thoughts, but I seek counsel. I appreciate a round table.
Do people around you like it when you take all that information in and then you just totally make a different choice? You're like, thank you for that amazing advice and
I've
counsel.
never bothered to ask.
Like when you ask the waiter for all the specials and they run you
Yeah,
down, and then you're like, I think I'll just have a
I'll
chicken
have the
Caesar.
chicken.
Thank you.
Now walk me through that mushroom ravioli again, and I'm like,
Totally. Do you like it sometimes when a choice is made for you? When you're like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing.
do I like it when a choice is made for me? Sometimes, not always.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
And do you worry about choices that you've made? Do you like, once you've made it, once you've arrived at a place, do you then go back and second guess yourself? Or you're like, I thought about this a
No,
lot.
once I've decided, I've decided.
You've decided. I feel like when I had my TV show, I would do this thing because I'm such a slow thinker, like a cruise ship. You know, when you see a cruise ship backing out of its
Yes.
berth, that's me making a decision. And I would say the words, I need to mull this. And it was like a signal to everybody in the office to be very disheartened and walk away for like a week and a half.
I like to say, can I come back to you with that?
Can we
Yeah,
circle
I like,
back?
can I take a beat to think about it? Can I come back to you on that? That's like my like, I need time to think about it response.
So, what would you say is just a choice that fully changed your life? Can you define a moment like that for yourself?
Mm, yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going into the arts, you know,
Mm.
um and it had like long later ramifications in the best way. When I was in high school and elementary school and so forth, I thought I was going to be a lawyer. Yeah, I
Yes.
thought I was going to be a lawyer and was excited about it, by the way. It wasn't like put on
Oh.
me, you know. First generation, my parents, both of them immigrated from Nigeria. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, they didn't they had the arts there, of course, but in terms of the opportunity that one could get coming to America, there was a very like narrow idea of what that looked like and a
Right.
blueprint that everybody sort of had for that. And since they were coming here and like giving up everything, they were, you know, betting on their kids getting the most out of us being here. And
Mm-hmm.
so those were like jobs like being a lawyer, a doctor, you know, an engineer, you know, those sort of things. And so
Mm-hmm.
I talk a lot. So I think they were like lawyer for her.
You're already kind of a miniature lawyer, so why don't you just
Do it.
go with that?
Let's keep that going. And so I thought I was going to do that, but my parents had put me in the arts, like, you know, singing in the choir. I sang in my church, stuff like this, and like I look back now and I know I must have I know I displayed an artistic nature and very like excitable energy, what have you.
Mhm.
And when I was a junior in high school, my creative writing teacher, who was also my drama club director, she asked me to
Okay.
stay after class. And I remember thinking, I was in so much trouble. I couldn't think of for what. Like I was like, well, after
Right.
class, I was like, what did I do? I was like, well, I don't even know.
Was I too
Yeah,
creative?
exactly. I was
Were my
like,
ideas
I
too
thought that
weird?
story was
Like,
original, but maybe it does have echoes of Jack and the Beanstalk in it. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, you flagged
yes,
it for me being too weird for this school. I'm
exactly. Yes,
out.
I'm out of the co exactly. And so she was like, have you given any thought to where you want to apply for schools next year or look? And I gave her the list of what those were. I thought I wanted to do like international relations or political science, whatever.
Mm.
And she was like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And she was pensive for a minute. And then she said, have you ever thought about going to art school? And I hadn't. The truth was, not even a day of my life has second had I ever thought about it. And I was like, no. And she said, you seem to have a real interest in it. And I think it's something you could do with your life. And I think you'd enjoy it. And like, I don't know, I must have just been staring at her so confused and lost because I remember being like, I have no idea where she's going with this. And she just said to me, she was like, you can go to school for this, right? And I didn't. I
Wow.
really didn't. I didn't know. But I knew though the second she said it, like it was like brain
Right.
explosion, all of the emojis. The second she said it, I was like, that's what I'm supposed to do with my life.
Wow. This is
And it never,
amazing.
in answer to your question before, the choice never changed from that moment. Like as soon as she said, I was like,
From
that's what
that
I'm supposed to
moment,
do with my life.
as incredibly successful, have you gone back to this person and said, look what you have
We're still in
wrought? Look,
touch. My teacher's
you
Miss Sarah
are?
Mealies. Well, she was Ms. Mealies when I had her, but now she's Router. Sarah Mealies Router is her name. What up, Ms. Mealies?
Wow.
She's like, we're still in touch. But yeah, so she knows this, and she's before even life started shaping into me working on television. She was following my
Hmm.
career in New York and all of this. So she's
Wow.
well familiar with this story. But it changed my life. It changed my whole life. And I
Yes.
I had never thought about it. And I went home and I told my parents that's what I wanted to
Hmm.
do.
Did you sit them down? How did you tell
Well,
them?
at first I thought I wanted to be a director. And my mom was like, she was, in the kitchen and she was like, okay, like just kind of like moved on.
You'll go back to
Yeah,
law school
exactly.
after. It's
Director
fine.
of law, like, like what, like, and I was like, then I was like, no, I think I want to do music. I found I wanted to sing, which is what I did. And
Hmm.
she at first was like, no. And she said it 3 times to me. I came to her, I told her, and she was like, and then on the 4th time, I was like, no, mommy, this is what I want to do. And she was like, okay. And I was like, why were you, you know, telling me no so many times? She's like, I just wanted to be sure
Hmm.
you were serious.
Wow.
So and then that was it. That was the end of the conversation.
That's how it went. What a big swing.
Yeah.
What a big, like, left field, just like a swing for the back. I don't know anything about sports. A swing for the back
Sense.
area. the, the
Yeah, the green
outfield. Is
monster.
that what
Yeah,
it's called?
exactly.
The wall where the numbers go
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
I have read that there was a day in your career when you decided that you had completely had enough and you were like, actually, I don't think this is for me. I'm going to
Yep.
quit. I'm going to call my manager at the end of the day. I'm going to break it to them that I'm totally done. And that's the day that you booked Orange is the New
Yes.
Black.
100% true. I had gone to an audition
Hmm.
and had been given the wrong for a different thing.
Yeah.
Had been given the wrong address. And so then when I got the right
Mm.
address, I wound up being there, 20 minutes late. And like for actors auditions, it's like you got to be on time. And
Yeah.
I was so like bummed and just devastated, frankly, because
Yeah.
I remember reading the audition material, and thinking, "Oh, it's a dramatic role, but I kind of hear this line here, like funny. I think this could actually be kind of funny to say, even though it's
Mhm.
supposed to be this very serious nurse. And I think this could be an interesting way to play it." And I was so bummed because I was 20 minutes late. And I kid you not, I had auditioned for 100 things that summer already
Right.
and had been told no, and was just really getting really drained. I was watching my savings dwindle. I was working,
Yeah.
just disappearing right before my eyes, trying to figure out how I was going to make ends meet coming into the fall.
Mhm.
And so I went to that audition. I remember they laughed and they enjoyed it. And I left the room and was like, that was a really great audition, but you're not going to
Mhm.
get it because you were late. And this is God, the universe, trying to tell you yet again, this is not for you. And you keep trying to make this like happen, and it's not for you. And
Right. Right.
I got on the train, I was sobbing, and I was just like, your parents always thought you were going to be a lawyer. And you thought
Right.
that too, maybe you just were chasing something that wasn't yours. And I was like, I'm going to go to law school. I'm good. I'm going to go to law school. I'm out.
Mhm.
I'm going to order some wine, order some sushi. I called my
Mhm.
sister to come over because I was going to tell her first. I was like, we're going to have a little pity party today, and then we're going to move on. We're going to start looking for like schools.
Right.
And
Right.
I got home, sat on the couch. 45 minutes later, my phone rang. It was my agent and manager calling to tell me that the audition I had gone on for Orange is the New Black like three
Mhm.
weeks prior, that they'd like to offer me a different role. I had auditioned for another role. And they said, "Well,
Mhm.
you didn't get that part." And I was like, "I'm getting out right at the right time." I'm like,
Fuck. If you're like, okay,
yeah,
Lord, could we just stop with the
yes,
signs? That was good. I already had enough
yes.
today.
Basically, I was like,
Thank
"I'm getting
you.
out right when they start calling you to tell you didn't get the job. Like, this is the right moment." I'm
Yeah.
like, "This is good. This is good." And they're like, "You
Mhm.
didn't get that part, but they'd like to offer you another part." And needless to say, I didn't quit that day. Uh,
You did
I
not.
didn't. Then I still drank the wine and sushi, but I didn't quit.
Yes. Then your pity party turned
A party
into
party.
such a different an actual party
Yeah,
party.
yeah, and that was that day.
Wow.
That's true story.
That's unbelievable. I have a similar story about getting hired for the Daily Show because I was quitting too
Really?
to go to law school. Yeah, I
Really?
was going to go to law school. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Because, like, I don't think that it's a hard choice to decide to go into
Yeah,
the arts,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, I understand that pull to the professional caliber of jobs. You're like, all right, I want to have a
Yes.
life. I want to be able to go on
Vacation, yes.
vacation.
I'd like to go to a wedding once in a while. Yeah.
Just love to have a reliable source of
Yes.
income
Yeah.
somewhat, and just participate in
Yes.
society in a way.
Yes. I'd like to
Just
adult if I
feels,
could. Yeah.
if possible, and you feel like when you're auditioning all the time, I don't think people really in the outside of the arts understand what it's like to receive months and
Mhm.
sometimes years of
That's right.
rejection, but to have to wake up the next day and go, I still believe in
That's right.
myself. I'm
That's
really good
right.
at this.
100%. Well, because you see so much showing like just the top of this business, or, like a slice of this
Yes.
business, that like
Yes.
people don't realize the work that goes, the years of work. It's not even like
Yes.
days, the years of work, then sweat,
Hmm.
blood, and tears, like that put in. And like to your point, like it's like it's hard, it's draining and it pulls on you, and, you start questioning your choices.
Yeah.
Your choices.
You do, especially if you have like just one. It's like I always used to feel like it just took one moment of brightness in like the fog of 8 months worth of rejections, and then you get like a little part.
Mhm.
You get like a little part, a little speaking role in a commercial, and you're like, oh, I'm
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. It was just like one tiny
Yeah.
yes in a sea
Yeah.
of no's could keep you
Yeah.
going, but you needed a
Yes.
yes every
Yes.
once in
Just
a
a life
while.
raft every once in a while.
Just a life raft. I was going to quit the business before, and my last audition was going to be the Daily Show
And look at
audition.
that.
I was like, man, look at that. And so,
Wow.
I love hearing stories like this. This is fantastic. It's so affirming. It really, thank goodness you didn't answer the call to quit, because I think you would have been a great lawyer, but I really love you as an
Thank you.
actor and performer.
you.
I prefer it. I prefer this fate. Although you would have been a great attorney.
Right.
We know this. Want to listen to the rest of this episode? Head over to your favorite podcast player to hear the entire show. I highly recommend it.